You know, back in the day, the circle didn't exist, and instead it was like a list, a selection of acts, sort of akin to the choices you can make on each of the text boxes, just, you know, yellow text on a black background, Act 1 through 5, and so on. It was different back then, in the past. Anyways, Act 5. I'm pretty sure this is a longer one, but my memory's not so good. Act 5, Scene 1. A town. Shannon, just give me just a minute. Clara, I'm afraid you carried more than your share. Nah, I'm used to it. TVs are pretty heavy, too. I almost forgot about daylight. Clara, the sun is shining. The birds are singing. Shannon, I think it rained. Clara, so we hear. And Ezra, the worms are going to be out for sure. Clara, have you ever heard a worm sing? You must hold your ear to the ground. It's very soft. What do you think they sing about? And Ezra, sing about their friends, other worms they like. Clara, precisely. Shannon, I don't want to haul this stuff any further until you know exactly where we're going. Ezra, I'll go scout ahead. And then Shannon, okay, holler if you find anything. So secretly, we're playing as a cat now. Following a a dragonfly in a town of ghosts. A ghost town. So this act is pretty long, mostly because a lot of it's just exploration, but it's a damn good one. George scanned the shelf. He quickly found the book he was looking for. There were only a few dozen left, more shelves than books now. The result of an experiment called the New Selection. Privately, he called it the Purge. Oh, what about this book? A Crystal Age, anonymous, a fairly recent publication. George flipped through the pages for a minute. The binding was stiff. Anonymous? Fraser didn't trust anonymity. He had an almost pathological need to see everything clearly and plainly. Transparency. Fraser proposed and executed experiments just like any other community member, but his experiments had a scorched earth quality. They were all destructive. He moved from one area of community of life to the next in search of excess to cut back. Lately he'd turned his scythe to the library. The New Selection meant decimating their store of books according to Fraser's own inscrutable criteria. Now we are guaranteed something vital every time we take a book from the shelves. No more time lost to printed chaff. Fraser's colorless voice echoed on George's mind. He felt like spitting. Instead, he tucked the book under his arm and set off for the woods. Press the meow button to talk to people. Not really, you just meow. I think there's a fair bit to miss here, actually, but ideally, so long as you just keep moving in a circle, you'll see most of what there is to see. 6 or 7 men stood in the sun about a dozen yards from the ditch, and he could hear them laughing. He tried not to hear them. Instead, he listened to the shovel punching through the dirt as he shaped the trench. It was wet dirt, mud, really. It made a hungry sound as he shaped the trench walls. Glare from the noon sun made his sinuses tingle. The trench was a foot wide now. By the time he was done, he expected it to be about twice that, and run most of the way from the middle of town over to where it could drain off into the creek. The laughter quieted into greedy chuckles, and he could feel the men approaching. Mystery house. I wonder if this is the fabled 5 Dogwood Drive. Buddy the Crow. WEVP in ruins. Elmo gave Rita a tour of the cameras and wiring. She'd just been through a certificate program on public broadcasting at the community college, so no surprises there. Nikki showed her the video databank, James demonstrated the sand and image processor, and then Ron came barreling in with an urgent expression. The image processor was a beautiful machine. James had inherited its care from another artist, reverse engineering it for maintenance with the help of a dusty, photocopied tome labeled The Distribution Religion. Rita learned just enough to make throbbing, hypnotic rainbows appear on the screen, which seemed to be the machine's favorite trick. She wondered what they used it for in practice. Ron's news was clearly bad news. Rita's heart sank a little as they listened. She knew things were unraveling, knew from experience what that looked like. Wouldn't it be nice to arrive at the beginning of something for once? But as she listened to Ron detail the power company's sudden withdrawal from town affairs, she heard other possibilities. She studied the faces and found concern for sure, but also something like relief, hope, an awakening of play. Nikki looked like she might have been daydreaming. These were people, Rita decided, ready to step out of the company's shadow and build something of their own. Ron said the TV station would still be funded by court order. Could that be their anchor? Ezra, will it still fly? I do believe page up, page down, set gamepad, QE, cycle through, enter backspace. I'm just going to turn on text auto advance in the case that there's something I'm forgetting here. Will it still fly? Oh yes, she just got banged up a little in the storm, says Clyde. I'll have her up and running again by this afternoon, I'm sure. Can I fly it? Oops. Well, how's your upper body strength? At first they only observed the truck from a distance. It was an alien carcass, something that made more sense in death than in life. The company had dropped it off in the middle of the day when everyone was at the plant. They let it sit overnight, alone and strange. Nikki thought it was ridiculous, but Ron approved. To Elmo, the truck was simply beautiful. The truck reminded him of, Ron in particular, New York City, which he'd visited once by bus and which had made a great impression on him, especially the mountains of garbage that dotted the sidewalks. This is true. The truck didn't smell yet, but it would, a glorious patina built up over decades of progress and labor. Of course, there was nowhere to drive it, even Ron conceded that. Everyone had to agree this was money and attention that would have been better spent addressing the town's drainage problems. Maybe, finally, get started on that damned messianic ditch. Still, they had a few things to dispose of. Broken flower pots, empty glass bottles, clothes that didn't fit anymore. They gradually fell into the habit of collecting waste and carrying it to the truck. Once a month, some shadows would come in from the night woods and haul the garbage away on a cart. Ezra, can I fly it? Clyde, well, how's your upper body strength? Ezra, it's good. It's really good. Clyde, this old girl is operated by pulleys. I mean, 100% mechanical. Well, except for the throttle. Ezra, I could do that. I admire your confidence, young man. Yep, just a little bent metal. I'll have her skyworthy again in a matter of hours. Wow, says Ezra. I've been doing this a long time, kiddo. There might have been a conversation here with Shannon. Clara, wow, he is a deep sleeper. Shannon, yeah, listen to that. It's making me a bit sleepy. Oh yeah, the rhythm of his breathing. It's nice, hypnotic. Shannon breathes in slowly. Shannon breathes out slowly. Shannon breathes in slowly. Homer farts. Oh well, says Shannon. Come back to Ezra in a moment. Look around a little more. Making a mess in there. Marianne. Ooh. So, not too sad. Nikki. No, I think it should be happy. Marianne. Right. It's a remembrance, says Nikki. Right, says Marianne. Like a monument, says Nikki. Totally, says Marianne. So, they should be represented with dignity and respect, of course, says Nikki. Marianne, of course. But not to the point where it makes everyone feel like they have to be serious when they're standing under it. Nikki. Does that even make sense? Marianne. No, yeah, it definitely does. I think I have an idea. Great, says Nikki. I'll just dig in, says Marianne. Thanks, Marianne, says Nikki. Happy to help, says Marianne. That's a good reference. Everyone's from the Bureau. Ben, think it'll rain anymore? No, says Bob. I don't see any clouds, says Emily. Hell, it'll probably rain anyhow. Just our luck. Sort of meow. Emily. Oh, really? Confident meow. Emily. He thinks it's going to rain again tomorrow. Bob. No. Ben. I don't know, man. Animals have a sense for the weather. Hey, it's one of those houses from the museum. Paints and chalk in the small bag. Diary in the large bag. Stuffed dog in the small bag. Photographs of Chris in the large bag. No, in the small bag? Sandra couldn't decide. Should she keep the photo of her husband, or should Alex keep the photo of his father? She dreaded the separation from her son. It was obviously a punishment, even though Fraser insisted it was just to help Alex develop independence and community ethics. She knew she was going to be punished for her complaints in Feedback Circle, when she was the only one who dared to speak against butchering the company's goats. She'd seen the same thing happen to Isabel. Isabel? Where was she now? She and her children just disappeared into the woods. She set everything down, closed her eyes, massaged her temples, and wondered, not for the first time, how Fraser had consolidated so much invisible power so quickly. How had he done it? Had he, in fact, done anything at all to claim this incredible lattice of influence, or had they simply, blindly given it to him? Wanda snores softly. Wanda sleeps peacefully. And now back to Ezra, perhaps. Or Junebug and Johnny here. Junebug and Johnny strained to hear the noises coming from the well. Johnny, there's that weird sleepy singing again. Two songs overlapping, but the same singers in each group. Johnny shades his eyes with his hand. Junebug, my eyes aren't adjusting to this light. Johnny, want to borrow mine? I just need to swap the lenses and they'll be fine. You? Junebug, I'm okay for now. Meowing into the hole. Ron? This shouldn't have happened. We should have had prepared better. We should have prepared better. Well, yeah, we should have. All of us. But most of all, that damn company who built this place left it only half built when they pulled out of town. Damn shame. Clara? Now you'll return to Chicago. Maya? Oh no, I'm heading to Ohio next. They have a few great burial mounds I want to revisit. This is kind of a research trip for me. I'm an artist. I make stuff like this. Clara? Where do you exhibit it? Outside, says Maya. Out in the fields, forests, away from the roads. Shannon. Why did they build this huge, dirt spiral? Maya. Most of these ancient earthworks are thought to be burial mounds, but this one definitely isn't, to be honest. I don't know what it was for. You should notice, too, a lot of this game is about forgotten monuments. Ghosts. Good buddy. Just running a boot. What's Ezra up to? Ezra? What kind of fish are those? Nikki to Ezra. They're goldfish. They eat algae and mosquito eggs. Very helpful. I'm surprised they survived the storm, actually. It was pretty bad, as you can see. Devastating, I should say. Ezra. We're just dropping something off here. Nikki. Oh, well, you better hurry up. They might already be gone. Using a winch to pull the horse out of the ditch. Not a bad idea. Those apparent wild horses from earlier. Why are they painting it? The seer reclined high in a tree, carving fine details into a small wooden pipe. She'd done the bulk of the carving over hazy mornings with the stoneworker. He smoked constantly. She only smoked when she was happy or very sad or bored. From this height, she could see the earth movers shaping the mounds under the draftsman's supervision. You could see him inspecting his plan and the drawing he'd made from her game, the map. Her game. Clara. Who's this here? All I can read is better days. They put their better days to rest here? Wonder whose better days we're talking about anyway. To Homer. And you, my friend? Are you looking for a place to rest? I think there's no rest here for a dog. Ghosts. I'm going to admit I don't remember where half of the interactions are anymore. It's still worth running around anyways. Oh, I suppose running through the middle you can see things pretty clearly. Get a bit dizzy, spinning around violently. Hold on. Let's just run back down to the monument. This mystery monument. Way over here. Goodness. I'm gonna throw up. Slow-mo crow. Good buddy. Hit him with my little pointer finger. Shannon. Well, the mailbox says that 5 Dogwood Drive. Clara. Is there a doormat? Sometimes a key is under a doormat. What am I saying? Strange to say, but I feel like I've been here before. Anyone else? Emily. Oh, is this your place? Weird time for new construction, but what do I know? Is this your place? Yeah, Emily's asking if this is the place. Jen. No, this isn't our place. Maybe she was asking if this was their place. I don't know. You don't know who lives here? Emily. Haven't seen anyone. Shannon. Feels warmer in here, somehow. Right? Junebug. Warmer and brighter. It's actually quite spacious. Ezra. Yeah, you could fly a plane in here. Junebug. Nice. I could see myself in a place like this. Shannon, the light in here is pretty great, actually. I could set up a new workshop here. Could fix TVs again, or whatever people need. Hell, I could fix toasters. Clara, I'd love to perform in a place like this. At sunset? Johnny, I kinda feel like I'm on stage right now, actually. Know what I mean, ma'am? Bug, weird acoustics, like you get little echoes before the sounds themselves. I like it. Shannon, we need to make sure and preserve some of this stuff before the next big storm. So whoever lives here next will know who came before. Shannon, you think more people will come after the people leave? Even if nobody else sets foot in this place, it's already crowded with ghosts. We saved what we could. Ezra, hey cat, I'll race you. From here to that pile of mail, okay? I don't remember where the pile of mail is. Come stand here, this is the starting line. Ready? It's set? Go! Ezra wins. Everybody was turning around. Alright! It's no shame to lose. I'm a fast runner. That he is. Johnny. Yeah, I'd be worried about that too. Nikki. Well, and it isn't just the rodents. The floors are mostly rotted, I think. You'd fall right through. I'm surprised they're still standing after last night. Johnny. All the buildings? Nikki. No, most of them have good bones. It's just these ones the power company built that are rotten. Johnny. Oh, okay. Yeah, the power company moved in here a while back and set it up like their own little town. For the workers. But they didn't build them too good, huh? Is it Johnny? Nikki, it's garbage. They couldn't be bothered. I lived in that one over there, in fact, when I first came here to work at the power plant. Oh yeah. This is Johnny. I wouldn't set foot in there now, though. Says Nikki. Ha ha, says Johnny. Shannon. Oh, hi, kitty. Yes, it's a beautiful day. I guess the weather was pretty bad last night, though. You're a chatty one, aren't you? Sure, whatever you say. Alright, well, take it easy. See ya. Clyde lay on his back on the runway, hands folded behind his head. halfway between dreams and the afternoon sun. He entertained the momentary delusion that he'd survived a plane crash and was vaguely unhappy when the dream faded. Coming into land, he'd slammed into a truck. The driver probably thought the runway was another road. The runway smelled like oil, years of leaky light aircraft taking off and landing. All the state said they wanted was to knock down some trees, mini trees, and build a road tying this small town to the larger web of streets and highways that entombed the rest of the country. It would bring in new goods, new people, maybe even some cash from tourism. Many of the residents supported the idea. But Clyde and his inner circle of stunt pilots turned mail carriers knew that a road would be the end of their secluded paradise. Run. I'm just curious, I guess. I know them pretty well by now, but I'd like to have known them better. There's this one I think is called George. He left us some clues in books a while back. Sometimes Rita finds a book from the old library and we leave it out for him. I think he likes that. Got to imagine he likes it anyway. So, you're playing some music in Nashville later. That's a good place for it, I guess. Clara. I have a gig at an art gallery. The idea is to play the theremin for 24 hours, uninterrupted. It will be difficult, but rewarding, I think. Run. Yeah, you're making the right move. There's nothing here anymore for the living. Ezra. They must have been pretty nice pigs if they let you ride them like that. Flora. I've made myself as light as a feather and they didn't even know I was there. You're lucky, says Ezra. That was only the beginning, says Flora. Then I found the library of television. There were TVs everywhere. As soon as you walked in the door, every channel was playing at once. Each tiny hair in my ear canal was listening to a different TV. On one of the TVs, I saw the most terrible vision. I won't even describe it to you. It would give you nightmares. Ezra. Wow, I'm glad you got out of there. Laura. Yeah, but now I kind of miss it. Did I tell you I discovered the place where all the garbage goes? Ezra. You mean the dump? Laura. You're right on track, but what they do is they take some water out of the ocean and replace it with garbage. Someday, the ocean will be nothing but garbage. The fish will learn to breathe garbage and we will learn to drink it. Ezra. Hung out with an old dog and some musicians. Laura. Wow, I'm jealous, but I won't let it ruin our friendship. Ezra. Well, maybe I'll see you at the museum sometime. Laura. I bet you'll see me sooner than that. Awesome. Run. Heavier than they look. Sure, everyone's heavier after they've passed. It's only natural. Spirit has no weight. In fact, it lifts us up a little. Oh, it's you again. Friendly meow. Yeah, well, feel free to pitch in. I'm sure this would go a lot quicker with two of us on it. Argumentative Argumentative meow. Busy, huh? What, left a sunbeam unslept in? Parting meow. Suit yourself, I'll be here. Ezra, there's really never been a road to this place. Why not? Slow-mo crow. Anxious, scraping noises. That's what I figured. An indignant caw. Why? A detailed series of chitters. Yeah, okay. We stick around to help. One confident caw. Okay then, guess we better get started. I love the way the light changes like a cloud's passing the sun. It's so nice. Radio plays softly in hangar. Junebug, nice little setup you've got. Clyde, yeah, it's alright. Many afternoons have come and gone right here, listening to the radio, taking a break from some maintenance work. What kind of bike you got? Junebug. It's a custom job, the Weird Vector. Oh, okay. I think I've seen those. Nice and light? Not light enough to fly, of course. Junebug. I guess you don't have much use for a bike in a town with no roads. Tell you the truth, I've long suspected the reason Cass never wanted any roads here was just to keep the horses safe. Now... I wonder if it plays what you're listening to in the car. Because I was listening to that earlier. Might just be reusing it. Emily, what's this? Curious meow. Oh man, it's totally broken. Inquisitive meow. Waterlogged tapes. It might still play, who knows? But all the VCRs were shot. Sad meow. I don't even know where to put all this. I hate to call it trash. I wonder if that garbage truck still works. Nikki. Until finally it just gave way. But you did good work, it's not your fault. They didn't let you finish, that's all. If they let you finish... oh, forget about it. This place would be dry as a bone. You always did good work. Inquisitive meow. It's a memorial. Rita tore up weeds. Elmo stood next to her with a bucket. She passed him the uprooted weeds and he stuffed them in a bucket. They worked this way for a few hours. Dark clouds drifted slowly closer, but wouldn't arrive until evening. Rita and Elmo left to get some tea. The bucket of weeds sat warming in the sun. The dandelions wilted and the clover dried. Some wayward insects continued to eat. When Rita and Elmo returned, they assumed the same roles and continued working. The garden was coming along as well as they could hope, given months of neglect. When the plant shut down, the company abruptly pulled out of the area and took a large part of the town's population with it. This included the Carver family, who had tended this garden, the largest and most productive in town for years. Now the garden would be cared for by a new family and feed what was left of the town and whatever it became next. They didn't know much about gardening, but they were prepared to learn on the job. They knew for sure they would plant tomatoes. Those had grown well from this garden in the past. Reed and Elmo worked until it started to rain. The rain washed their sweat into the dirt. She watched him. He walked deliberately, his eyes closed. He was already remembering the path. This was the path the seer had found in her scrying game, a series of private dice rolls and inscrutable diagrams. The community trusted this game. It had led them to fish-filled streams, intimate knowledge of the elements and the stars, and here to the canoe settlement. Even here to the cenote settlement. They trusted it without understanding it, and now the game had revealed to the seer this vital route, which would lead them to safety before the next floods came. At the end of the route, she'd seen a safe, quiet place, caverns of leathery black birds, a lake of eyeless fish, a towering flame. Now the diver walked to the mounds, memorizing the route. He was almost ready. What else? I mean, the horses have a symbolic message here, considering in Act 1 they were the huge statue outside of Equus Oils. Marianne, I saw the design on a barn somewhere. Really spoke to me. I had to pull over and sketch it right away. You think it works for this? Shannon, your day off, or is the bureau closed today? Marianne, I drew the short straw, so I'm babysitting Wanda while she sleeps one off. Nobody at the bureau really expects us to get anything done, so I'm painting. They're still going to put this up on the old barn as part of the ceremony. Whoops, they're going to put this up, but still. I'm honored, to tell you the truth. Keep looking around. And go back over to, whatever Ezra was up to. Do you think every part ends at that house? 5 Dogwood Drive. In this town with no roads, it still has dogwood. Oh, I think... No, here's Ezra again. Ezra's everywhere. Ezra, does it work? Bob, I don't know. I think you wind it here. No, it doesn't work. Ezra, I could probably fix it. Bob, oh, you could definitely fix it, man. And then you'd have a new robot friend. Ezra, and then I'd have a new robot friend. I think it's interesting that here it's time within each of these events is kind of discontinuous. Like Oh, Ezra is in like 4 locations at a time. Seeing the perspective of a cat now. Outside of every other character we've known for the last 4 acts. Rita, do you know how long you have to be asleep before you can start dreaming? Ezra, sometimes I think I'm dreaming even when I'm awake. Rita, entirely possible. Even if you never go to sleep, you'll start dreaming on your feet. We used to pull some pretty long hours at the TV station, really pushing our limits. Sometimes it bled into the work. We drew inspiration from another group who lived here before us. They built this. They called themselves the People of Nothing, fearless experimenters. Whenever I made a decision, says Ezra, I never know. Whenever I make a decision, I never know what's going to happen next. Is that an experiment? Rita? Sure. Experimenting is abandoning expectation. You'd fit right in here. Sure, it's a mess right now, but there's some residual energy from those fearless experimenters that I don't think we'll ever lose. Well, that I don't think will ever dissipate. I say, completing the sentence automatically. Ezra. I don't think I'd want to live in a place like this. No. Ezra, I could stay here. Junebug and Johnny walk up. Johnny to Ezra. That's a good little dude. And Ezra. We're talking about the people who built this. Rita to Ezra. Oh, are you in the band? Junebug. What do you think, kid? We've got room for a drummer. Ezra. I'm great at drums. I know where all the buttons are. Ron dug a grave. Oh no. The stairs. Whoa. "3A, lay paper flat. 3B, bring bottom left corner up to top right corner. 3C, crease with firm steady pressure, a long diagonal fold." Nikki applied only gentle pressure. Looser flowers felt more alive. She rolled her wrists. It was about the 6th hour of her assigned company store shift, and she'd made dozens of flowers. Ron had bought a bouquet and cleaned out their stock that afternoon. 11. Repeat steps 4A through 7 for each petal, taking care not to rip the filaments from step 9. The company store used to have a dedicated staff, until the civic responsibility plan a few years back. Now everyone took 1 or 2 shifts a week on a mandatory volunteer basis. A commotion outside caught Nikki's attention. Men yelling, blows landing. She put down her work and stepped out just in time to see the crowd disperse. Elmo. And ever since then, I've just been treating it like a little cafe for the town. Johnny. Everybody pitches in. Elmo. People have to look out for each other here. It's always been that way. I once led a demonstration march right down this main strip here, back in the old days. I won't lie, it was harrowing, but I'm proud to say I marched in full view of God and the company and everyone that day. Well, I know I'm not sticking around. You think you'll do anything with this place? Johnny. Well, I'll think of something. What are the acoustics like? Rita. Hey, this book's in pretty good shape. The City of Ladies. Interesting. Curious meow. No, I've never read it either. Inquisitive meow. Rita. Good question. Let's take a look. Here we go. Minerva, Circe, Sappho. And some ladies from the Bible. A nosy meow. I think they all get together and build a city. Sounds nice. I'll get us a bus ticket, eh? Flora. Choppy seas today, Captain. Ezra. Aye, Captain. Let's reinforce the sails. The little boat going downstream. Johnny. Oh, damn, there he goes. Can we go in after him? Bug. In the bushes? Johnny. Yeah. After the raccoon? Yeah. No. But it's probably full of thorns. Yeah, but raccoon. It's not happening. Okay. Oh, don't pout. Tell you what, if that raccoon comes back into town, we'll leave some food out for him. Yes, ma'am. Shannon. Hey. Hey, don't run in the graveyard. Why not? Says Ezra. People are trying to rest. Annoyed meow. Agreed, says Shannon. Ezra doesn't care. You know, I thought that Marianne from the Bureau was doing watercolors, but I might be misremembering. Maybe they do other painting too. Junebug. I really like this knife. It has an aura, know what I mean? Says Johnny. An aura. Yeah, like it wasn't exactly used to cut apples. It's meant for greater things, says Junebug. Yes, ma'am. Sounds like the plane's working. We could get over there. But I don't want to miss what's happening around. Clyde and Cass sat cross-legged in the shade of a light aircraft. Cass shuffling cards and Clyde absently flipping through a stack of unopened letters. They called themselves the Dervish Brothers Flying Circus, a name that outlived the Dervish, named Elton, brothers themselves, who died within the first few years. So, run of the circus was left to their aunt Cassandra, who everyone called Cass. Cass played cards and told fortunes with the same deck. Sometimes she'd switch it up mid-game or mid-divination, until you never knew whether you were winning or losing, or if good luck in the game might mean bad luck in some other part of your life. Demand for aerial stunts having faded almost completely, and many of their company having died or aged out of the profession, Clyde and Cass found for their remaining pilots a steady flow of contract work, delivering mail to remote rural areas. But this place was abandoned. Gus's cards predicted they'd be here for quite a while. Man, cicadas just have a feeling to them, you know? Like humidity. Yeah. I even lived in there for a bit. Shannon. No way. Yeah, too drafty. I moved out one winter and never looked back. It gets cold? Sure, when the sun is down. Nice old church, though. Shannon. Really nice. Could make a nice workshop. There you go, says Rita. Shannon just really needs a workshop. Really bad. Like, it's all she's thinking about. Oh, where's Johnny? Inside? Come on, give it all you got. Looks like it'll still play. Oh, Bill Monroe. Great. They're inside. Elmo. Yeah, we had a few of his. Johnny. Man, this is a barnstormer. Popular? Elmo. They used to be, but then the jukebox started to wear down. The longer it would run, the slower it would play. And then these weird echoes would start to come in. Like the music was leaking and just pooling up in the bottom somewhere until everything was drowning. After a few hours, no matter what you put in that jukebox, it'd come out strange, wrong. Johnny, I don't know, that sounds pretty cool to me, man. Drowning music and waffles for any weather, the cafe, run by volunteers, mandatorily. I'll check that out last. Assuming I've seen almost everything else. Well, let's talk to Shannon. Curious meow. Oh, I don't know. Just a bunch of old stuff. It's hard to imagine someone ordering this. Like, these things specifically. Why these things? This folding rocking chair, it's nice, but it's so peculiar. Someone really wanted this chair. Now we're setting it all up, trying to reverse engineer this person we never met. I kind of feel like we are that person. We're making that person right now, together. Reassuring meow. Yeah, thanks. That helps. Ezra, where are you flying to? Clyde. Flying? Huh. I'm just checking to see if everything's working okay. Ezra, you could fly her somewhere if you wanted to, though, right? Of course, says Clyde. Ezra, so why don't you? Here we go. Keep your distance now. Now he's going. Seems like the plane's working to me. That works. Emily. And Rita never got as many bands to come up here as she would have liked, I think, but it was always a blast. Junebug. Sure, and how does anybody find a place like this without any roads coming in? Emily. They wander in from the trees. Sometimes they're following directions, and sometimes they just end up here. That's the hardest thing about keeping an artistic community alive, just getting people to show up. Oh, look at this. Emily pulls a broken projector out of the rubble. Elmo's projector. Oh, it's ruined. Poor Elmo, he'll be devastated. He'll be cool with it. Takes a lot to perturb that guy. Emily pulls a videotape out of the rubble. Junebug. Home movies? Emily. Probably some weird art video, statistically speaking. Very little I can salvage here. I wouldn't mean anything anyway. It's a kind of a package deal. You need the tapes and the station and the people. If one part is missing, the whole thing falls apart. And I guess that leaves the horses. No? I guess not. Unless he's dug himself even deeper. Wanda, into tape recorder. Part 4, subsection G, notes on inhabitants. Most have relocated already, prior to the transitional event. Wanda, to Shannon. Resident or visitor? Shannon. Just making a delivery. Wanda. To whom? There's nothing left here. Shannon. I don't know. Still feels alive to me. Wanda. But surely there are more productive uses of the site. Initial results are promising. I think this may be the moment we finally reclaim this ghost town. Ugh. Your hands off of this place. Please. And what else? Ah, there's the bell. The big heron up there. The crows. Emily. Hey all, thanks for sticking around for this. I know we've all got places to... Well, if anybody still needs somewhere to go, be sure to speak up, okay? I think Ron's heading through the woods tonight, back to the road if you wanted to caravan. Ron, you staying, Em? Emily? Yeah, sure, I'll stay. At least for a while. I just want to make sure everyone has somewhere to go. For right now, though, we've got some friends to bury. The neighbors. Nikki has a poem, and I have a song. If anyone wants to say anything, though, I'll go first. The neighbors were kind, gentle, beautiful horses. I used to go on walks with the silver one, out in the woods by... Why didn't anybody ever give them names? The silver one, well, I guess he was gray, but his coat looked silver in the light, so I always called him that in my head. The other one is the other one, and I love these horses, but you'd never know it if you heard me talk about them like that. So, I'm sorry, silver one and other one. Sorry I didn't have better names for you. You deserved better names. Also sorry I'm so bad at this. Anybody else have anything to say? Elmo? I was thinking about when all those canned carrots showed up in the mail. You remember that? Somebody was calling around with some canned carrots they wanted to be rid of, and I guess Consolidated Power got word of it. So these cans of carrots showed up in the mail, and we didn't know where they came from at first. I tried some out, no flavor to them. Some of them were gray, just awful. Rita said that's still okay to eat, like, sometimes carrots just lose their color if they sit in a can too long, but nobody wanted them, really. Well, and Connie came on TV with a message like, "Hope the horses are enjoying their treat." And we thought, okay, these are for the neighbors. Sure, horses love carrots, right? But the neighbors wouldn't touch them. Wouldn't even look at them. You'd think they were canned rocks. We opened a couple dozen, set them all out by the water trough, and they were still there a day later. Even the raccoons steered clear. And then, of course, Consolidated sent us an invoice for every can we'd opened, already made out in company script. How do you like that? Rita, we didn't give them names because their names weren't ours to give. The horses were here before us, you know? They came with the people from Central America. You know, the Utopians, the people of nothing. The people of nothing arrived by horseback in October, and their first experiment was to free the horses. That was generations ago, of people and horses. I don't know when we started calling them the neighbors. We should have called them the people, I think. They were the only consistent residents of this place for over 100 years, and now they're all gone. Who are the people now? Emily. Okay, I guess we'd better move on. Nikki, you ready? Thanks for sticking around, like Emily said. It's so good to have you all here for this. I think the neighbors would have liked this, all of us gathered here. They like to be around people. Maya, you and our other visitors might not know about the out-of-towner. He came here to work for the company, to dig a ditch, and the company worked him good and hard, and for less than he was worth, but it wasn't enough. They had to use him up completely. After that, we became ungovernable. First out of shame, then grief, then anger. This is a poem for the neighbors, but it's also for this town. Yeah. We're gonna bury this town today when we bury these horses. It's the same thing. We're gonna bury these horses, and what do you think will happen next? We'll all walk out into the woods and leave this place empty. No, I guess some of us might stay and build again. That's all right, it couldn't be me, but to try is your birthright. If you do stay, you'll be building on top of a grave. But that's true anywhere. The whole world is built on top of graves. Look for me under your boot soles, as the fella says. Nikki clears her throat and begins reading from the paper she's holding. Think the grass will never grow again. Here, where it grew so sweet, now only clay, will rise to meet the morning air. Who would eat grass now when our neighbors sleeping lay? Nikki closes her eyes for a moment before continuing. Our neighbors were the best of us, of course, it's always so. Our better selves, clear of ourselves, where we can see their glory glow. They glow now underground, our friends, with love. Our neighbors left us here, though not alone. Staring at the clouds, my vision showed. Here, where we lay our town and friends to rest, return their souls in peace and gently roam. Then we buried the horses.
I've heard of a land of joy and peace and wonderful life, a beautiful place of mansions fair and skies so bright, where all who believe the Savior dear forever shall stay. And having been saved by grace divine, I'm going that way. I'm going that way. I'm going that way. Yes, dear, the Savior I adore is with me each day. I'm clinging to Him and never to stray, just singing praises all day long. I'm going that way. Well, glorious news I tell and sing as onward I go, for those who are still astray in sin, my Savior may know. I want them to sing that praise above some beautiful day. For glory to Him who died for me, I'm going that way. I know I shall meet Him at the gate when trials are past. I know I shall meet Him face to face in glory at last. Oh, I believe that when we meet, well done, He'll say, while trusting that soul redeeming love, I'm going that way. I'm going that way. I'm going that way. Yes, dear, the Savior I adore is with me each day. I'm clinging to Him and never to stray, just singing praises all day long. I'm going that way.
The end. And that's Kentucky Route Zero. Hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed reading it. Later.